Hello YouTube. I've seen plenty of videos out there as far as how to prepare and actually use a Peterson press, but I thought today I'd show you actually how to make one. The other videos really don't quite tell you how to make a Peterson press. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make a Peterson press with just a few simple tricks. Rosie, get out of the picture frame. So let's go ahead and start now. As you can see, the standard frame is a regular 2x4, which you can put in any hardware store. And that is a 1-ton jack. There you go, 1-ton jack. Well, actually it's 1 and 2-ton jack. The frame is pretty simple. As you can see, it's all just regular 2x4s. Simple black nails. Oops, looks like I dropped one of the key components there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with that. So as you can see, the bottle jack, it's got some simple feet on it. Okay, alright, so let's go ahead, move on. Now, constructing it, it's very important that you make these parts right here reinforced. That's the pressure from the jack will be coming up and hitting it. So that has to be strong. Now, I just made this. I may have to reinforce the screws later on, but so far so good. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the actual spacers. The spacers, you can see, I went ahead and marked them. I got one that says top, middle, and the bottom. And actually, these were the biggest pains in the butts to make. So I looked around for several types, how I can make them and everything. But in the end, I actually had to build them myself. And I found the easiest way to build them was to just go to any hardware store and get the electrical boxes that you would find on the inside your home, the electrical boxes. Here's one I made one I really didn't get made earlier. Now this one has a knockout in it. Prefer to get the ones with the knockout because it makes it easier to make the hole larger. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's talk about how I made these discs. So like I said, I went ahead and used the spacer. Okay, so what you do then is this little device here, my tools. Here's probably some of the tools that made this possible. Pretty simple stuff. I'll try to go over each one of them, see how it works out. I'll try to go through them quickly. This one right here, called a step drill bit. This was a godsend for making the holes inside of the frame bigger inside the electrical box. As you can see, that's what made these right here. Okay, that's what made this hole possible right here. Okay, so what you do then, after you cut that out, you want to take the this part here. This is a Schedule 40 4-inch PVC. It is very heavy, and it's for a reason. You've seen some other videos that say how to make use Schedule 40 because it might crack under the pressure, and you might want to be convinced to use the black PVC ABS. Yeah, I'd probably go against it and actually find. This was a little bit hard for me to find. I actually had to buy the whole piece over there and just cut it up in sections. So once I got that part, it was no problem. Okay, so in order to make the disc, what I ended up doing is I took the piece and I put it over an existing piece. I actually had a much larger piece than this, and you just go ahead and draw it out. I cut maybe like a 2-inch section, just made a hole in the circuit in the actual metal, and then my friend here, real time saver, angle grinder. Just use the angle grinder and you cut out a hole. Do the best you can. If you have actually that's a metal cutting disc. Then if you have a grinder for angles, angle grinder or a bench grinder like I do, then you can just make the disc like this. It's not the prettiest, but hey, it works. Then the drill bit, circular saw for cutting wood, cutting the wood and the what do you call it, PVC pipes. Okay, now I want to move on to the most important part that I feel this is the part where it really doesn't specify what you actually need to do, and this is probably one of the most important parts of is the actual mold. Okay, this is the mold right here. As you can see, let me just tell you what it is. It's pretty much just a piece of 2x6 pressurized wood. And what I did is I took one of those same electrical boxes and I just put this little plate at the bottom. So that way when the bottle jack comes up, let's see how small it is. It doesn't damage it. Okay? Doesn't warp the wood or anything. Okay? So what I did then is I just cut this piece out. Now, in order to make this part right here is very important. This is where the water funnels out when you're putting it up on the press. Okay, I want to thank the other YouTuber that came up with this mold right here. It's very simple design. His was a little bit more complex, and maybe he had more tools, I don't know. I just wanted something really simple. And what I did with that is I just took a 1-inch chisel, okay, and I just more or less just carved it out. I measured the hole from side to side and just chiseled straight through. Okay. Now, as you can see, this has some nuts underneath it, and you could probably tell by the screws themselves are not very pretty, but they get the job done. Okay. And once you put it all together, get your scheduled 40 PVC right here. Got your mold. I'll show you in a second. I already made some slurry. The actual discs themselves. Okay. Then you'll take your mold, put it on top. Oh, almost forgot an important piece. There's my dog Rosie getting in the way. Get out of the way, girl. Okay. This is nothing but regular PVC 3/4 inch pipe. Now this part from here to here is an actual inch, and that's where you'll have to cut the hole to make this fit in here. You might have a little bit more play, which will be good. That way you can use it. So let's get all the discs together. Okay, just show you real quick how it works. So take the mold. There. Now you place it down deep in there. Kind of hard to get it in there, like so. Okay. Then you start pouring it all in. You've seen the other videos for that, so I'm not going to go into great detail for that. Then you put your middle disc in the middle. That's what separates, so you can make two. Then the top one. Now what the top one does is when you prick that up, you pick up this whole unit. Let's see if I can do it without dropping it. And you put it in here. Put it in the jack. You can see the other videos for that. Now this part right here is this is where this is a 3-inch PVC pipe comes in. Okay, you just take that in there. This is where it hits the top pipe. And as you can see, as the jack is going up, it's compressing it down into this plate. This is the part where you hear most crunching going on. Okay, it comes out really good. Now before this, I cut the piece too short, so it didn't come out that great. It's the little piece over there, so it didn't come out that great. And let me show you what happens if you don't have that part come out. It comes out great. So you jack it up, makes a noise. Then you take the mold out. Once again, please see the other YouTube videos on how to do that. Okay. And I want to show you what happens. This is the before and after. Okay. This one right here is what happens when you don't put enough pressure on it. As you can see, it's all goopy. It's not very good. Falls apart easily. You may not have to do it. And then once you got the proper pressure and really squeeze down on it all the way to the top, if you build it well, don't worry about the crunching of the wood. You can see this one is a lot more sturdy. Look, there's the holes right there from the screws. Or I'm sorry, from the top of the screws there. Much more solid. Give them a couple of days to dry out. And as you can see, by actually putting on the wood, this one still needs a lot more to be drained out. And this one right here, as you can see, almost no water because all the water has been squeezed out of it. So it's up to you to go ahead and decide if you want to make a hole in the, like in some other videos showed that with the holes all up alongside. If you want to, that's fine. I pretty much just went with the 3/4 inch white PVC. Worked out great. If you put enough pressure on it, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. As you can see, I just literally made these today. This is my first time making this. I want to thank all the YouTube videos out there for showing us how to make this, but hopefully I helped you understand how to make a simple one with the actual detailed instructions. Okay, just real quick over the dimensions. 3 feet. I believe this is maybe about 6 inches across. And as you can see, you can pretty much eyeball it. You don't need great detail for that. And there's other videos and dimensions out there on YouTube. Okay, Thanks, YouTube. Good luck.